Kevin Garnett combined athleticism, size, skill, and smarts as well as any player in his generation. But his signature shots, his stretchy, long two-point jumpers, changed the ways we expect our big men to shoot the ball.
Kevin Garnett, what can he do? What can he do? What can he do?
Garnett will go down as one of the most talented and one of the most influential big men in NBA history. His Hall of Fame career was a treat to watch, not only because of his awesome skills, but also his once-in-a-generation charisma.
Tonight was a ball fight. You ever been in a ball fight? I think if LeBron can go home, then why can't I?
Aside from being a star on the microphone, Garnett had one of the softest, most reliable jumpers of his era. And throughout his remarkable 21-year-long NBA career, he used it to stretch out defenses so that he and his teammates could score at will. Garnett entered the NBA in 1995 as the first high school player drafted in over 20 years. And one reason for that, as you can see in his high school tape, was the touch he flashed on jumpers. Unsurprisingly, the big ticket wasn't much of a draw in that rookie campaign. His game was raw and unpolished. Still, he became the youngest player to that point in league history to score 30 in a game in March of that season. And it didn't take long for him to start dominating consistently.
Keeps the dribble line, uses the Garnett screen, gets it back to Garnett. Garnett, an open look. Oh, what a night this kid's having.
He's going to be a great player. He already is.
Early in his career in Minnesota, Garnett became a low post specialist. Not only was KG blessed with great size, length, and speed, but he had tremendous feel for the game too. And his low post arsenal was full of fantastic spin moves and fadeaways that enabled him to get his shots against virtually any defender. When you look at his career shot chart, you can tell that his favorite shot location off of the left baseline is tied directly to his post-up excellence. Garnett's athleticism and ability to attack the rim as a young player forced defenders to constantly protect against drives. However, his ability to hit fadeaways over either shoulder, combined with an extraordinarily high release point, made him unguardable. And by about 2003, the big ticket had become one of the most complete players in the NBA. KG's finest individual season was 03-04 when he won the NBA MVP. That year, Garnett did it all for Minnesota, averaging a career-best 24.2 points per game, while also posting his best rebounding numbers ever, a whopping 13.9 boards per game. Peak Garnett could score in so many different ways. He could run the floor and finish in transition like this. He could grab an offensive board and put it back like this. He could face you up and drive right past you like this. Or he could post you up, get into the paint, and finish like this. But that year, over half of his shots came in the mid-range, and it was that silky jumper of his that truly fueled those career best numbers. While typical NBA shooters usually convert about 40% of their mid-range looks, one thing that always defined Garnett was his ability to greatly exceed those numbers despite taking difficult shots in both catch and shoot and unassisted situations.
That's what makes Kevin Garnett who he is. That mid-range jump shot.
His mechanics were top-notch. Very few players his size could elevate as well as he did on his jumpers, and with his release point high above his head, his shots were virtually unblockable. Add in the fact that KG had tremendous footwork and fakes, and the result is one of the best jump shooting portfolios of any big man of the era.
Nothing but the bottom on the unstoppable Kevin Garnett shot.
Garnett may not be among the first stretch bigs in the NBA, but he was arguably among the first superstars that fit that description. Along with Rasheed Wallace and Dirk Nowitzki, Garnett proved to the world that big men with big range could help teams win it all. After being traded to Boston in 2007, Garnett became one of the best pick-and-roll partners in the game, and his incredible jump shooting ability was featured as the Celtics won the finals in his first year in green.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
In KG's only championship run, over half of his shots came in the mid-range, and a major portion of those came via pick-and-pop actions with Rajon Rondo. Rondo and Garnett teamed up to form one of the savviest pick-and-roll combos since Malone and Stockton, and Garnett's ability to drain long twos was a huge part of their title run that included series wins over both LeBron James and Kobe Bryant.
You get the big ticket going, buddy. You better call a timeout. Woo!
Rondo and Garnett stuck opponents into no-win situations. With KG setting ball screens and Rondo controlling the action, defenders would have to either overplay Rondo's driving layups or honor Garnett's automatic jumpers. They couldn't do both, and the resulting buckets were a big reason why Boston won it all in 2008. Of course, Paul Pierce and Ray Allen didn't hurt either, but make no mistake, Garnett's contributions on both ends of the floor were a big reason why the Celtics won that year. Not only did he hit those pick-and-pop jumpers, but Garnett also anchored the C's incredible D that year with one of his record-tying 9 career first-team all-defense appearances. And in the end, that's what makes Garnett so unique, his completeness as a player. He's the only player to lead an active franchise, in this case the Timberwolves, in career points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Garnett's skills extended into every realm. He could handle the ball, he could pass well, he was both a world-class shot blocker and an elite rebounder, and his feathery jumper formed the perfect counterpoint to his legendary intensity and ferocious dunks.
KG trailing the play. Kevin Garnett with a thunderous dunk.
Garnett's legacy in the context of the modern NBA has a lot to do with those jumpers. Along with Sheed and Dirk, Garnett's combination of size and shooting skills set the tone for a new generation of big men, like Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, who both have amazingly diversified skill sets and reliable long-range jumpers. Before KG, very few NBA bigs were skilled in all facets. Now, those diverse skills are almost a requirement for any big trying to be a superstar. Garnett never really became a great three-point shooter, but by hitting countless long twos in big moments for 2 decades, he paved the way for the great stretch bigs playing today. And although 40 years ago it seemed outlandish for the league's biggest players to shoot from these distances, well, if KG taught us anything, it's that anything is possible.
When you go through pain, sacrifice, losing, being denied, all that's for a reason. The reason for appreciation is that when you do win it, everything you have bottled up, everything you've accumulated over those times of heartache, when you win, you're able to let those things out